Okay. We're live. We're
Oh,
live.
we are
Um,
live. All right.
this is the Nissan Nerd Podcast. He's Miles Hall. I'm DeLashmutt. Welcome. Hey, adjust your mic, man. I'm not sure what you're doing.
I don't know.
Uh,
It looks good to me.
I think we all know that guy, man. Out
In
of
the
all,
age of in the age of work at home, there's always that one guy
you
that has
can't get it right.
and it's like, well, Jeff, what do you think about efficiency? Well, you know, I think we really should moderate. And it's like, dude, come on, bro. It's a look. I'm going to teach everybody out there. I've been wearing headsets for about 30
Yeah.
years. Look, if you can put your knuckles like that going to your face, that's standard operating option. That's what you want right there.
You want that
Boom.
distance. It's kind of like wheel gap. You want one finger, not two, or
Thank
two
you.
fingers, maybe something like that. Better make it three.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See, it's not that hard, man.
It's not that hard. Yeah. I think that one hit me pretty hard, pretty close to home, man.
God
Because
damn it,
yeah,
Jeff. Get your ish together, all right?
all
And
the all the all the video conferences, there's always that one guy, man. Ugh.
there is always that one guy. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Well,
you. Yeah. Go.
are you just want to say again, this is the Nissan Nerd Podcast. We're just getting started. For anybody who is live with us and looking at comments, again, this is interactive. Again, for those who are on with us, feel free to go ahead and type in, do your thing.
Yes.
So that's all I want
Very
to say.
much. Well, let's get past all that stuff. Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's drink. All right. Let's break
Yep.
it in. Let's crack the huevo on this episode and let's go. Let's see
You want
what
to get
you
it
got.
started?
Yeah, I do
All
want
right.
to get started. What are you drinking today?
Uh, well, I guess I'm a one-trick pony on this one, man. I've got the same trick that I had last time. I've got a bourbon mixed with Coke. Pretty
Ooh, look at
pretty
that. That's
strong.
pretty
I won't lie,
stout
it
right
is pretty
there.
strong.
Oh.
I'm not a freak. I don't drink too much, but when I do, I mean, hey, it's okay.
When I drink I drink
Well, I guess yeah,
wine with yeah.
it's not too
Big
often,
cut.
so I don't have my top shelf has maybe a bottle, maybe two tops. So yeah.
So
Mm.
I am stepping
You
into the what is this? Is that saloon
saloon
door?
door, fluffy nuts. Fluffy. Is that a beaver?
That is a beaver.
Okay. Okay.
Those nuts. Apparently, but it's going to segue into one of my articles that I have tonight. All right, and
Oh.
I'll have you know, vintage beer Stein out of Australia, of all things. So I got it from an Aussie dude back in the day. He sent this to me.
That's great.
A drink out of it because that's the way God intended it.
That's the honorary Nissan mug there. That's awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, this is probably the last one in existence, and I'll probably end up breaking it.
Use two hands. Yeah.
I will say this: anybody ever sends me anything, or I buy it on eBay, I'm gonna use it. So, ooh man,
and that jacket as well. Now you mentioned what do you got there?
PB and marshmallow. Oof, it's like a s'more. Imagine if I took a s'more, wrapped it like what was that? Van Damme Kumatai movie where they like dip their hands in honey and glass. Imagine you dipped it, but in peanut butter and marshmallows, and then punched you in the face.
It's like the cutest fight I've ever seen. No.
Diabetics are all like, "Oh, please,
come on, a little too much." I have a peanut allergy.
That would be a good like Kumite fight. Just one hit.
This swollen face, just from the fumes alone.
How many times you get hit? Just once, man.
Just once is all it took. Yeah.
You were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Oh, your jacket. So again, man, the last time you rocked the Cobra Kai, now you've got here. This looks like a vintage, like Datsun. Where'd you get you mentioned eBay? Was that an eBay special again?
This was an eBay special. This was straight out of. So for those that don't know, these were like the Datsun shirts that they, I guess, or the Datsun windbreaker
Hmm.
that they used to sell back in the 70s. I think it was like a big California thing because back then, the quarter mile guys were doing all that stuff. The Bonneville salt flats were going pretty hot, and
Yeah.
windbreakers were like the rage back then. I suppose. I mean, I was only like 3 when that was going down, but
Yeah.
yeah. So there's you can find these occasionally on eBay. They come up. They're pretty slick, dude. I mean, it
Yeah.
offers zero wind protection, just so you know. Like it goes right through here. I mean,
Fashion only. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I don't know what kind of quality they were running back in the 70s, but apparently they were high when they were doing it. So
I hear you. I
makes
hear you.
sense. But
So let's go ahead
yeah,
and
so cool.
before we
All right.
do, let's get this started. I want to say to you, Miles, Ganpai,
Psh,
clink,
clink.
clink.
Mm.
Ah.
Okay. So
Okay.
on the topic of fluffy nuts, I'm gonna I got an article to kind of go over, but
Okay.
we got news. You got the important news to talk about today.
I do. I mean, it's exciting to me, which again,
Which
exciting.
means
It's not as popular, but I think that'd be good. You want me to go ahead and
I want
share
you
it?
to yeah, let's get the business out of the way and then we can hanky panky.
I'm the business. Is that what you're saying?
You are the business.
I
You're
am the
the
business.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm the guy we don't want to talk about. All right, let's go.
All right, let's do that. So the article I have, let me go ahead and share my screen, and
Ooh,
boom, there we go. Look at that. From Nissan Global News website, Nissan was just awarded on an innovation that makes cars quieter, and they're awarded from Popular Science. That's a media outlet that's been around forever. I mean, magazines to websites today. So they have a lot of credibility in the field of just being a nerd. I mean, that's kind of what it is, you know. Uh, what they've developed is, let's just imagine this. I'm sure we all know there's always that vehicle that has a ton of road noise. You've got the just super loud. This material that they've developed is a sound deadening material that is uh, 4 times lighter than the current sound deadening material. Miles, me and you, we both know what the standard is for sound deadening even today. We've gotten the dry ice and the chisels before. It's that heavy rubber matting that you have
yep,
to freeze and chip out, you know.
yep.
And it's not very effective. I mean, it's heavy, and for as much weight that it puts onto the car, it's heavy, and I mean, up till now, that's been the best we've ever had. Now, with this award that with this innovation that Nissan has come out with, it is essentially 4 times better. And I'll go ahead and share a
14.
really good statement here that says here, while most materials to isolate this frequency consist heavily of the heavy rubber, this Nissan's new acoustic meta material, is what they're calling it, is 1/4 the weight and provides the same degree of sound insulation.
Hmm.
So when I saw lighter, my ears perked up because I'm always thinking, hey, makes the car lighter. That's cool. And then if you
Yeah.
imagine, even if you kept the same weight with the new material, that means you're 4 times more efficient with your sound deadening. So
I, I
I
will say this,
mhm,
like sound deadening materials as of late, okay, so you and I grew up when I don't know, maybe the stereo game was getting hot, like Dynamat was kind of coming around. You could
yep.
buy it. It was kind of a stick and drop, and it really was just the tar with the aluminum in it, and it basically
Mhm,
just dead paneled. And the stuff was okay, but I will say this: in the last like probably the 3 or 4 years, if you go back and you check those websites and those companies that Dynamat and I think Dynablock and a bunch of other ones that have been doing that business specifically and
mhm,
evolving that stuff. They've
yeah.
really done some amazing things. Like the the aftermarket game stepped up, and it's kind of nice to see that Nissan was actually putting some real science and technology around it. Let's talk about this diagram you got going up there. What's that about?
Oh no, so this is actually just a diagram here of how this new material is essentially functioning. It's how it is able to repel sounds coming into the cabin. There is a quick video. We're not going to, I mean, it would be a pain to watch all of it, I think. But
Oh, we'll
there
just
was a,
let it run while we talk. Let's
there
see.
you go, we'll do that. Let's do that. But essentially, it's just a mesh. You'll see it's almost like a honeycomb, a very, very thin type of honeycomb um, uh, pattern, and it kind of explains how it's able to do what this says, which is to repel the sound that it is, and be again lighter, and to provide greater sound deadening material,
Well, I
sound
mean,
deadening.
yeah, let's call it what it is. I mean, Nissan's always been a cost-effective vehicle, right? We have never been in the line of Porsche and high-end vehicles. Like we're talking like upper 50s, 60s, 70s. But
Hmm.
they've always pushed the boundaries of what you're getting for your money, and it's always been cost-effective on all their materials and all their units that they pushed out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see like this as that innovation because I mean you and I have been in just about every Nissan from from the 60s 70s on, and
Yeah.
had an opportunity to sit in those things. And I gotta say, I mean, the early 70s, 80s cars, shoot, right up to the late 90s, man, a lot of that stuff was just loud. I mean, even cars in the 90s that were like, the price points at 45, 50,000. I mean, the Z32, it was a supercar, but it still is a little loud. And those empty
Yeah.
cavities really resonate, and cause a lot of vibration. The 240SX, love the vehicle, handles like a dream, but it has a lot
Mhm.
of road noise. A lot of people don't want to realize it, but it does, you know?
I'll be I'll be honest. You mentioned that of those complaints even being in the '90s. I mean, I'm just gonna say, I had it for a few years. I had that 370Z, and it had a substantial amount of road noise in the
Frontier,
the
the Xterra, oh my god, yeah, even the
it's
yeah,
in the rear. I mean, this was, I mean, this is the current generation.
yeah.
Mhm. Um, the rear wheels on the non-base model, the performance model, what is it, like 9.5, almost like a 10-inch wide wheel? I mean, that's a lot of contact that's making noise that you're trying to deaden. So uh,
Well,
I think with
especially
this new
that too.
innovation, I mean, future
Yeah,
vehicles so much better.
especially with that. I mean, it's like, and you know this as well as I do, and any person that's out there driving cars, you know that you have that sweet spot, that certain RPM that either your exhaust is going to annoy the hell out of you or all the road noise, the vibration of the car, you're going to feel it, and that's what it is. And you know what it is because you are in tune with the car. I know it seems weird and you're like, how would that mean that I'm in tune with a car? It just means you're active listening to everything that's out there. I know that I get a slight vibration between this type of RPM or this speed range. I know that, you're going to hear sound on certain types of road. I mean, I can drive my Z on a road and I'm like, and I know where the road material changes because I can hear it all through the damn car. And
Yep.
it's just one of those things. But these type of materials are going to make the future vehicles
Yep.
that much quieter. And the crazy thing is you won't think about this. This is all like it's one of those things that it's just going to be out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight
But
of mind.
you don't give it the due that it probably deserves with the innovation.
I think for me, it's I'm always a fan of preserving what hearing I have left. So that's probably why this article spoke to me. So I was like, that's all good, man. I mean, there's two things aside from the silence that this provides. I just want to hear the exhaust, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
And
that's our soundtrack, and I agree with you 100%.
and I started to think about too. You know, we've always talked about electrification in the future cars, which have no sound coming from underneath the hood, or very little comparative, relatively speaking. So when you get an even more advanced sound deadening with a powertrain that makes even quieter, you might as well bust out a bed in the back because you're going to be able to sleep in every model of vehicle you can get.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's just, yeah, the newer models. I'm really curious about everything that's going to come out, and it's always retrospect. You 5 years from now, we're going to be like, everything seems old back then. So it's
Yeah.
like by then we'll be driving the new 400Z, I guess is what we're going to call it, or the 390 or whatever they decide to stick it the label
Hmm.
on, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you go back and you drive an older car like a Datsun. I mean, yeah, and I'm going to take some sacrilege here. Like you drive like an old, God, like a 510 or a 240, you get into one of those, or even the 620.
Yep. Yep.
Jesus Christ, it's loud in there. When you go comparatively from like, say, something quiet in the news, or anything else competing with Nissan.
And
You
you
know,
got to think about it too. What's funny is that for those who bought those vehicles brand new,
Hmm?
they're like, "I can't believe how quiet it is,"
Yeah.
because at the time that was the best thing. And to me now, I mean, the older vehicles though, that's part of the aesthetic. That's why you buy vintage vehicles,
Yeah.
sort of. Of course, everybody's doing it for the way the exhaust. I mean, the carbureted engines sound
Yeah. I mean, I, I
completely
I
different.
structure I
So,
structure foam some of my cars
yeah,
back in the day, and you still can do it, and we can talk about that another day. But
yeah,
it's a two-part urethane epoxy that you shoot into panels. They did it
mhm,
especially with the Infinity lines after impacts. But the thing about it is, it killed all those resonating channels that would resonate all the sound, and it also add rigidity to the car. And
mhm,
that was one of the few things that Nissan did on a factory level that actually quieted down the car. It moderately was successful, but
yep.
and other manufacturers did it too as well. But the sound of the materials were always kind of the same. It was always that tar, dare I say, lick and stick that,
Yeah,
that happened on the assembly line. You're
there's
just like,
such a pain to remove too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, dry ice and I don't know. You're gonna have it underneath your fingernails for
Well, so hopefully in the future that shouldn't be much of an issue anymore. So, I mean, I think it's a great innovation.
yeah.
Props to Nissan for leading the way in this new technology. And who's to say? I mean, they become the forefront of the quiet cabin, the super quiet, enjoyable, in cabin noises. Maybe they license it out to other manufacturers too. So that's a number of different directions they can do with this thing, and so they're from what I can tell, they're at the lead of it. So props to them.
Or somebody else will steal it. So and then call it
Uh,
their own.
yeah, right, right. Hopefully not, but yeah,
Hopefully not, but yeah, it's still a cool idea, man. I'm gonna dig it. Maybe
yeah.
yeah. I'll have to keep out.
Mm,
I wonder if they'll start selling it aftermarketly. I wonder if there's a market for that. That's curious.
I'm pretty sure there'll be something eventually.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Give it about 5 or 10 years.
Well,
It'll
pencil it in for 5 or 10 years. We'll bring it back up and
hold
put it on the calendar.
on. Moving on, Miles. I know you had an article that you wanted to share.
Oh, I do. I do.
I don't know if you've told me about this yet, so I'll let you take the lead on this one. And what do you got?
Wow. So, for those that don't know, I'm pretty passionate about. Let's see here.
Got it.
We'll call it sweaty balls. All right. So right now it's wintertime. We're not thinking about sweaty balls right now. It's a holiday for your lower regions right now. All right. But we're not that far off from when this plague will come.
Uh-huh.
Will start to
Summer's
bring,
coming. Yeah.
bring it. And this isn't just for the guys out there. Occasionally, women. We're gonna do
Everybody.
all
Yeah.
inclusivity here. All right.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
thinking about you as well. We're just going to talk crotches in general right now. All right. So this is an old article from Jalopnik, but I remembered it as I was in the shower today, and I was just like, "Oh, I was like, man,
Of all places.
of all
Okay.
things, that's
Yeah.
one of my greatest thoughts come to me." So I was there, and I was like, "Man, that was a great article," and it was like it's a blip. It really is a blip on the radar for Jalopnik. They have such great articles from time to time. But this
Hmm.
was really talking about manufacturers, if it was something that really people think about it. And it's one of those things. It's kind of like the heated toilet seat in Japan. Like you don't know how good it is until you have an opportunity to experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say this, like some manufacturers still make it to this day, like the Ford F-150s, they still make it. And what I'm talking about is actually it's a little vent that's probably in the kick panel underneath where the driver's seat is. I haven't really seen them for passenger seats, but
Right.
what they do is they direct air right into the crotch area to cool down swamp nuts,
Yeah.
basically. That's what it is. Swamp nuts, as we like to call it in the South, or nut soup is a. Yeah, I'm probably going a little PG-13 here, but my apologies. Right, I'll
Yeah.
blame it on the. But yeah, but the point is what they were trying to do is a kind of a raise your hand type of article for if you had manufacturers out there, or if this was something that was important to you in the car buying process. For me, believe it or not, I think I would buy it.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I would really have an interest in having a car that had this. I know it seems dumb,
I would
but
too.
I would. I really do. And if anything, you just got to make sure your sales guys talk about.
You need to let them know. How else are
You
they
got
going
to
to
talk about this.
add to bring back this feature if we don't tell them?
And the next panel that I sit on for like a Nissan informative panel, like what would you like to see in the next? I don't
That
know.
would have been, yeah, yeah. You're
Pathfinder.
right.
I was like, you know what? Cool McCrotch. That's what I
Cool the
want.
crutch.
Yep.
I
Marketing.
I remember those too because you said you seen them in the Fords. I remember the old. I think the old Chevys had them at the same
Oh
time.
yeah, the Volkswagen right here was one of the
Okay.
predecessors. Now that little vent would open right there on the side, and boom, you'd get a wish of
Wow.
cold air right there traveling up your leg, tickling your coin purse there. So,
That's an
but
exterior crotch vent. Like there's an
yeah,
actual.
well, this is predating
Yeah.
air conditioned systems. Heating and air conditions. Because
Yeah.
back then the heater was just the only thing that warmed you up, and that was the only option that was available. I think you're right. You mentioned some of the old trucks like Chevys and stuff like that. They would have an option for
Mhm.
that, but it was just
And
something kind of cool. So
yeah, absolutely. And also, it's been about a little bit since I last seen it though. But there was a few threads online about 3D printers are all the rage. People that can have the ability to make their own whatever it is. People are making their own crotch vents for their cars, even though they're not available. They're able to make the ducting and make the vents, and with some nice little some fine with a fine Dremel tool, they can actually install their own crotch vent.
yeah, it's crazy. It's like if you kind of do some research out there, believe it or not, there are models that had it
Hmm.
and where it's popular in some areas, but not popular in others. Like it's an option for regions.
Hmm.
And I thought it was a joke. And obviously I have a Z32. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go out there and see if there is a crotch option for me. And guess
Yeah,
what? There is a crotch option for me.
there
Right
is.
there. Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Close it right there into your little
wow.
jungle gym right there.
Jungle Gym. What?
Yeah,
Now was this a factory? This wasn't a standard
a
option. I don't.
factory
I don't.
option. This is a factory option, baby. Right there.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So if
I
you
can't.
out
Yeah.
there, these are going for gold these days. If you don't know, so Z32, that's going to blow right into my
Your
I'll leave
Jungle Gym. Yeah.
it right there into my future kids. So whatever you guys doing. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So but
Wow.
yeah, just something to think about. I know it's like I'm dumb, but just something to kind of think about for the future. So
Cool. Yeah. Uh,
think about your
look,
nuts. Our
for
ladies,
those,
think about your man's nuts. Men, think about your
everybody
next
gets
article. Time.
everybody gets a swamp on that one. Oh yeah. For those in Nashville, yeah, please listen. Yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking about. My Nashville people, my Georgia people, my Louisiana people. Good lord, good lord, you
Oh
get
yeah.
two of those. You
Yeah.
just get two, just like for each pant leg. Just
Talking
like
about what he said. Yeah. There's a lot of swamps out there for sure. Yeah.
swamp pants. All right. So,
Yes.
what's next on the firing line?
Fire in line. Up next. If you didn't have anything else, Miles, we wanted to move on into a segment that we know and love, back alley chats.
Really? We're going right into back alley chats. Hold on, but I got to show you something here real quick that hit
Yes.
out before back alley chat. All
Okay.
right. There's a commercial I saw the other night.
Okay.
Did you see this one? You know which one I'm talking about?
You told me. Yes, you did. I'll let you do the honors though.
Okay.
If you want to share it.
All right. So I'll let you see if you catch it. All
Okay.
right. All right. This is something I enjoyed the other night, and I saw it, and it was like, no way. So I
Just
got to
chilling on the couch, and this came up.
chilling on the couch in the shower, watching
Nice
TV.
surprise. I'm always a fan of pizza. All right, all right. Got some Kenny G looking hipster.
Did you see it?
I was so focused on the saxophone. Rewind it.
Of course you were. Uh,
Right there. Okay. Well, we're talking cars.
what
I'm
am I
gonna say
looking
that's
at?
5'10", yeah.
Oh, look at you, Kawasaki.
Woo!
Check out the big brain on Brad. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Orange. Well, and you see everything's orange too. So there have been a lot of commercials with Dot. That's at least the second or third commercial I've seen within the last year to year and a half that had Datsuns in it, which had been like a surprise, right? Every time you watch, even with like movies, when you watch movies, or again now we're getting into commercials. Whenever you see a Datsun or a Nissan, you go nuts. Like, oh shoot, like you see.
Tell me you wouldn't be excited about that. I was watching a movie with my kid the other day, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, of all things.
Mhm.
I counted 3 Datsuns. I could be wrong. If there are any other car nerds out there, watch the whole movie. I counted 3. Tell me if I'm wrong or if there's more than that. And I don't know. I even
Actually,
caught. Yeah.
I saw one in Back to the Future, the second one. There's a 620 on the blocks. That one
Oh, and
surprised me. I watched it during the holidays, and boom, there it is. Like I had to pause it, and I'm like, "Dad, check us out!" Whoever's down the hall, hey, come check us out.
hold on. While we're talking about Z's and movies, your old 370Z became famous for a minute, right?
I forgot about that. Of all people, I forgot about that. Yes, that's actually a really crazy story. Yes, so I owned a 370Z for about just under 2 years. And in that time, I had moved to the Atlanta area. And now, for those who don't know, the Atlanta area is sort of becoming like the next Hollywood. A lot more movies are being made by, for whatever reason, Atlanta is like that growing hub for making movies. It was at a point where I was trying to sell the 370 and had it on Craigslist for a few weeks, and I finally got a bite, and it was from a movie production company. And I wasn't. I was just honestly, I wasn't asking for much. I was just trying to break even on the deal. They bit, and within a week, I went ahead and signed the title over, and that's a 370Z. Oh, you have it. Okay, so fast forward, they tell me what movie it's going to go into. They said, hey, well, there's going to be this casino, and then our hero is trying to flee these people. And they didn't tell me, they didn't give me specifics. They just kind of gave me the idea for the scene. And it wasn't until about a year and a half later that it came out, which was Sleepless. Sleepless with Jamie Foxx. My car was one of the cars used in the production of that movie, which blew my mind. And Nipsey, you got a scene here, don't you?
Yeah, I'm watching it right
bring it
now
on to
while
you.
you're chatting away.
Go ahead and press play on that one. But yeah, so these guys, again, it was just the wonders of Craigslist. That's how easy it was. Met the production team that were producing the cars for this movie and for like every movie in Atlanta, for God's sake. They painted. My car was originally gray. They painted it red, and they actually bought 2 cars to match. One was well, you got to have a backup, right? So you had 2 cars, red, had Lambo doors, and they were both sport models, so tricked out, of course, but I was pretty excited to see it. Whenever it came out in the theaters, me and the local Z Club in Atlanta, we went out and saw it on opening night, and I was like, that's my car, so and
I'm just
here's the
gonna.
sad. Go ahead.
Was this
Here's
what they did? Was this your car that they just did this to?
So after the movie, I called them back, and I was learning more. Actually, the car was still in my name up until like last year. That's the funny part. No, the car that gets T-boned. So this car gets T-boned. It was not my car. It was the
Not
other
your car
car.
that went through the imaginary CGI gate.
Right. No, it was hit. It still ran. I was told it still ran, but it needed obviously repair to like the radiator or whatnot. So um, I actually almost bought it back after the fact. They said that there were poker chips still glued to the windshield and stuff like that too. So it
Oh,
was
for the. Oh yeah.
when he's leaving the casino. Yeah, I mean the car was still in full. It had the movie magic still on it. That's kind of what it was about. So yeah, man, I we're talking movies and everything else, and I'm glad you mentioned it. Of all things, I forgot.
The car gets T-boned. Let's see where it happens.
When this happened in the theater, we all like yelled. We're like, no!
That was it, huh?
That
Well,
was it right there. Yeah, yeah.
that was your moment of fame.
That was my moment of fame right there. Oh yeah. Hey,
That
I
was it.
mentioned that's it right there.
Did
See,
it
they did
have
the
the
whole Lambo
suicide doors and all that
doors.
crap on it?
I didn't have that at all. No, they added that. That was part of the flair that they were trying to give the car.
Oh, yeah.
I think initially, I heard the budget for that movie was sort of low. They wanted to start off with like Lamborghinis, and the finance guy was like, no. And the second guy, all right, how about a Porsche? Like, no.
How
And
about
they said, how,
Datsun? They were just like,
Nissan? Like,
we'll take
yeah,
it
we
up
can
with
do that.
Miata.
Yeah. A little higher than a Miata, right? Yeah, yeah. I want to share a video with you as well. This was a commercial that came out last year,
What do you
and
got?
let's see if you remember this one. Sharing my screen.
Let me add my fluffy nuts back to my cup.
This one's on
The
silent
fluffy
here.
nut beer.
There
Oof.
you go.
Ugh. Go
So you
on.
can see that. Ready?
Hit me.
Do you remember this one? Boost Mobile had a commercial. Boom. You see it?
Oh, yeah. Those are too far.
The old Datsun 30 right there. All wearing orange, so it might as well be a Little Caesars commercial. So yeah.
As well. Is that Pitbull?
It's Pitbull, man. Like, how much money did they pay Pitbull to be in a second,
Da, da, da,
in a third class?
mommy. That's like 80 grand right there for that dude for like half an hour's worth of work. Anyway, moving on.
So that was Z's and commercials, Z's and movies, anyway. So yeah.
All right. So
What else? Yeah.
what are we doing now? Let's move on. Time.
So this was the back alley chat we're getting back to. You wanted to share a video that was recent that got a lot of laughs. It was spreading all over the internet recently.
Yep. Kill yours. All right.
Got it.
All right. Let me show this. Let me put this. Let me throw this on your lap. So here.
This actually got a lot of reviews. I remember seeing this. A lot of the group forums had this thing not too long ago. And of course, I mean, they're speaking another language. It might as well be, I think, in Russia or somewhere else.
Doesn't really matter.
Europe.
I can
It
tell you
doesn't
right
matter.
now, that is not Texas right now because it is.
It's not.
I haven't seen
It's
snow
not.
like that in ever.
Nope.
All right, hey, before we start this,
Another shot here.
let's go.
Kanpai.
Oh, did
Oh
you pour it on the floor? Kudos.
no! It's just a little sip here, sip there.
Fluffy nuts are going right to my brain. All right, moving on.
So with that, 370.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, sorry, 350. 350. Go for it, man.
Hit me.
You got it. 350 doing donuts in the snow. Oh, that's not snow.
That's ice, brother.
That's a lake. Yeah, they're on the way. Oh man. Ah.
That was it for you.
Another 350. Rest in peace.
Yet.
What makes me laugh so much is the way he crawls. He's just on his elbows.
Yeah, he just barely
trying to
got
get
out.
I mean, he's
So-
fighting for his life. I mean, it seems so. I mean, from the angle of the camera, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but obviously that guy is having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of that car before it goes under. And
Yeah.
oh man, what a sad way to see a car go. Yep. Boom. Ouch. Ouch. We got a few other guys watching with us too. There we go.
Go get it out in
Just
go
saw
get it out
this
in the
today.
spring when it thaws.
What's that?
So they'll get it out in the spring when it thaws.
Part out? Yeah.
Yeah, but the sad part is like the internet and the Facebook groups have no chill, so they're like, "Hey, how much you want for that wing?"
Yeah.
So-
It's the last thing that got wet. So I mean, it's still good, right? Yeah.
It's so good. So,
Mhm.
oh man, all right. So
that brings us to
what do we got going
ahead.
on? Oh, back alley chat.
Yeah.
think so. It's appropriate. So that would probably be, I don't know, what I got in my mind for back alley chat. Dumbest thing you've ever done in a car? Sound appropriate?
Yes.
You concur.
mm, Sorry, I'm actually setting you up here, man. Back alley chat. Boom. Dumbest thing you've ever done in a car. Obviously, the ice.
Manny.
I haven't been near ice to be that level of fail, but I've had my stories. I guess you could say.
All right.
Do you want me to go first, or you go
I
first?
do. I want you to go first. I want to show me what you got. I'll show you. You show me yours. I'll show you mine.
Okay, so uh, from what I'm thinking, I mean, I'll give you a short list, but the biggest one that I can think of was when I was in college and I had gotten my 300 ZX twin turbo. Um, First of all, I was a fool thinking I can get it running on a college budget, but I got it running to an extent. And of course, being that young and having a car that you that you that you have a lot of pride for. Uh, there was a stoplight, and this little Subaru comes up to me, and we're revving at each other, the blow off valves. We're like, oh hey, we both have blow off valves. That's cool. And then he goes, hey, you want to have a go? I'm like, well, why not? And I should have known because this was the same road I've taken hundreds of times, and it is the crappiest roads. That soil. They repave it every 6 months because of how bad the soil is underneath, and the bumps and the lumps and the potholes. And I was so hopped up on testosterone or adrenaline or whatever you want to call it, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go, yeah." Long story short, I had a cracked wheel and a bent control arm, and
Your pride.
yeah, my pride was hurt too. I was able to cripple it to a nearby parking lot or drive, off to the side, nice and safe. But the guy came back. Hey, being a good sport, he's hey man, he was nice enough to come back, make sure that I was all right, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine. The car's fine. I'll survive. Actually, you're the one who actually helped me repair it. You had a control arm sitting in the back garage. I think I just met you. This was
Pushing
easily
already asking me for
10
favors.
years
I've only
ago.
known you 2 weeks. Sounds about right.
Yeah. I had just met you, I think, and I called you up and I said, "Hey, man, do you have any spare parts lying around?" And sure enough, you did.
Of course.
And I didn't even see you there. You're like, "Yeah, go in the backyard, take a wrench, and put the money in the mailbox." I was like, "All right, cool."
You know what's crazy is my neighbors. I had new neighbors about that time when I first met you. Like
Yeah.
they were brand new neighbors to the area, and at night there would be all these like guys that would be like reaching into my mailbox, grabbing something out of it, leaving money in. At any given time in my mailbox, there was always probably like anywhere from $30 to like probably like $100 at one time. I would check the mail and it'd just be like money. I would just put it. It's because I always had parts. Like I always had like just a late night inventory and be like, all right, what do you need? All right, this okay.
Did
Yeah,
they
I'm
ever
going to
think
go
you
to
were
bed.
a drug dealer or something?
Well, it's the crazy thing. It's like it's car guy hours, and what I mean by that is like you're working on a car. You're just like you're going to tighten something, and all of a sudden, snap! You're just like, damn, I need this. Where am I going to
Yeah.
get this? And then I'm going to try to order it. I'm going to need. I don't need it in 2 weeks when I order it. I need it tonight.
The
Call
weirdest hours
Miles.
of
They
the
call
night.
me, and I'm like, yeah. It's like I get these calls at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and be like, hey, bro, I need this. All right, it'll be in the mailbox. Leave your money there, and then if you didn't leave money there, I would eventually find you. Uh,
Come and collect.
like Terminator, I'd catch you, and but no, I would just be like, you would just never. It would cut off your supply of parts in the future, which was even worse. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
so, but back then I'd buy cars and just completely disassemble cars. But I think my wife hated me a lot more back then because
Yeah.
because I'd get calls at 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m. and answer them. And you would
Yeah.
think that I'd had a mistress or something on the side, but no, I was just selling parts, slinging parts on the side. But I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that are like that. So
Getting calls at 3 a.m. People asking for plenums.
what are you
Where
doing?
they
Yeah, I got it suede. You needed it
slip
suede? You
slip
needed
the
a tan
money in.
interior?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Slick top. Yeah, I got it. I got what you need. All right, I'll leave it in the mailbox for you. Just put the money on my dresser.
Yeah.
Just it sounded bad in theory, but yeah. So
Yeah. So you were asking the dumbest thing done in the car. That was probably the most. That was the one that I had regrets about. I was like, I knew better,
yeah, you did a
but
lot of dumb things when you
I
first met
didn't react.
you.
Yeah. So that was the biggest one that I can say that was the dumbest move because that cost me some money, right?
Yeah,
Since then,
pride
I've
nearly.
gotten older, gotten wiser. Not as
Mhm. Have you? Have you really got?
I've gotten more wise, as in like stay away from curbs. You know what I mean? Keep it off public roads. But I still have
The
my
shiny
fun here
side
and
up?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but since then, I can say that while I had that 370 we were just talking about, I was there were a few moments where I definitely clinched, and it could have hurt and cost me an insurance payment. A premium though. But there is that. Are you okay over there?
Yeah, the fluffy nuts are getting to me. They're they're getting up there. The fluffy nuts are right in my throat. All right.
But yeah, besides that, though, I would say that Nissan's traction control, the VDC, has definitely saved me a couple of times. So
Mm,
definitely less stories as I've gotten older, um, wiser, and then also technologies has gotten better to keep me in out of trouble.
yeah. Let me see here. Dumbest thing I've ever done in a
Yeah,
car or two.
yeah. What's your moment,
Man,
your
I've
dumbest
done some
moment?
pretty bonehead dumb things. I think I made that like the thing that gets me is like I should have known better, but I wasn't thinking at the time because you're like, so I'll give you an example. Right now it's like I don't know. Today's pretty cold here in Texas. We got snow in Austin a couple
Hmm.
days ago. San Antonio, we don't get snow because I phone up God and I just tell him, hey bro, I
Yeah,
gotta I gotta work on the engine, and he just
yeah.
hooks me up. He's like, I'm not gonna give you snow. I'll hook on, boy. Anyway, so but yeah, there was like one year that we got like really bad snow or like I went in somewhere, I came out and it was like the whole car was like covered in snow and I was like, okay, I started scraping it. Scraping wasn't coming off. Who keeps a an ice scraper in their car in Texas, right? So it's just you don't need it.
Hardly anybody, I would imagine.
Ion called it snow apocalypse 2021.
Snowpocalypse.
Snow
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
apocalypto. Anyway, yeah, this was like a few years back. Anyway, many years back, and I was scraping, and I'm not familiar with snow all that much. So what did I do? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put hot water on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I ended up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it just, it was the worst. It was so dumb.
No.
Yeah, and it was a delayed reaction too. Like I put it on the passenger window, and then I was going to the front windshield, and it just passenger window, boosh, but it took a second. So not only could I just got in one window, I got two pieces of glass, and I'm like an idiot. Yeah, it was that's so crazy.
How old were you by that time?
I was in my 20s, and I still was dumb.
I think a lot of our stories are definitely from our 20s for sure.
I've done a lot of dumb stuff. I remember I raced I had a Sentra for a quick minute, like the GXE. I don't know if you remember those. It
Okay.
was like the bad boy. I don't know. Me personally, I thought it was
Not
bad.
the SER.
Well, this is pre like
Okay, this is pre SER days. Okay.
I think so. So I had a GXE. The fanciest thing it had in it was like a little diffie in it. So anyway, what did I do? I was just racing on the highway and I missed a
Uh-huh.
gear, but I dropped it in such a lower gear that it blew out the housing. Like all
Oh.
like you see all the parts just running for their lives on the highway. Yeah,
Oh, really? Like that Hollywood? Just you
like it
just
was
see it like
non-existent. It was just if you just like put a grenade in a pumpkin, it just went. Oh, it was just gone. It was just
ouch.
yeah, it was just dumb. Like because the
I
guys who were racing me were. Did I say racing? I didn't mean
had
racing.
to.
Aggressively following.
Got,
They were just kind of laughing at me. They were like, I was like,
they didn't come back and be a good sport and try to help you off the road at all.
no, no, no. They weren't. They
Oh.
weren't the same guys that helped you out. Let's see. Anybody got any stories for them? Let's see here. George, music. Ran out of gas in your truck.
Uh, I did that. So George and I go back a good amount of time, and my 620, I got stranded And what I thought was something critical was as simple as running out of gas. So that was
One
yeah,
block
I was a
from your
block from the house. I was downhill. I was like, had to walk back up to the house, and I don't know what it is, man. I just don't know. And it was gas.
I remember
Like,
you
go
sharing that
figure.
story. Like you were telling me about it in retrospect, like a few days later. I know Ion's got a lot of dumb bonehead stuff that he always does all the time. Because
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
catch him doing it, and I always slap his hands. You see
You
here.
mentioned shifting into the wrong gear, and I had done that. I had kind of gotten into a pool with my twin turbo at the time, and it's always that fourth gear to fifth gear that mistakenly goes into third. That's like the number one point right there. Boom, and that's luckily
You're
nothing
like,
happened.
"Yeah, go for it," and then it's like there's like this like little wall that you like catch yourself. It's kind of like when you walk in and you catch your pocket on the doorknob walking into the house. You're just like, son of a like for real. I know where I'm going. It's like yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tr-
I, I think I hit probably about 8,500 RPMs, and I was definitely scared. But I went ahead and cooled off. Then nothing blew up, thankfully. But that's all it took. I was like, no, I need to go ahead and cool off. So
yeah.
that's my story on mischiefs in general.
Oh, I guess we're gonna let this one die out and move on to the next topic. What do we got
Yes.
going on?
Next topic we have is things you should be checking out.
Yeah, so I do a lot of online late night drinking and shopping, and I found a couple cool things. I mean, yeah, they're kind of hokey, but I will say this: like, I'm not much of an Etsy kind of guy. Like, if anything, I buy a lot of stuff through like eBay, Joss. What's that other website that you like? You love? It's kind of Goober or Juber or Fuber, Duber.
Oh, Kruber. It's Kruber. Yeah,
What-
yeah, yeah. It's essentially Up Garage for online. Yeah.
Okay, I got to get on there. But I was like, just Etsy is okay, but it just seems like if I don't know if the ladies that quilted things decided to get out of the quilting game and just decided to get into like randomly just blatantly merchandising Nissan Datsun stuff. But anyway, I saw some pretty cool stuff. A couple of cool things. I mean, and there's a lot to go through, and it just a lot of it's pretty hokey and cheesy. And I'm like, I don't like it. Just I'm not into it. But there was a
Ah,
couple things that I dug that I
okay.
saw, and I mean, yeah, maybe it's just me. It's like walking around like Marshalls or Ross. You're gonna
Well,
buy
you
something.
are a pretty unique character, Miles.
Whoa,
So I
whoa.
wouldn't put it. Whatever you show me, I'm just going to tell you I'm not surprised. So
Well, you should be surprised. I'm upscaling. So, all right. Let's see what I got going on
yeah,
here. All right. So
yeah,
this
go
is the
ahead.
first one I saw the other night, and yeah, it seems kind of dumb, but I thought it was pretty cool. It was so it's a soap mold of all things, and you can make your own soap, all Fight Club
Soap
style. Yeah,
mold.
yeah. So you use
Soap
a
mold, Nissan plastic soap
it's a
mold.
mold.
Okay.
You can put anything into it. You can put Jello, soap. I don't know. Just, but I thought it was
Interesting.
pretty cool. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like I have to get Christmas presents for all you crazy people in my life from time to time. And yeah, so I was just trying to figure out. Orlando said drinking and late internet shopping is the perfect recipe for disaster. He's right. So uh, yeah, but it's true. It's like I don't know. I liked it because you could just pretty much liquefy, soap and just make something cool for all your friends and all those white elephant gifts at Christmas parties and stuff. I think I would use this probably for like chocolate, quite honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
think before I have these like Datsun 240Z molds, and
I
they're like
remember
half
that.
and half, and you could stick them together and have ultimately an entire Datsun made out of chocolate. And they're from the
Hmm.
70s, and I safeguard those. But occasionally, some of you guys choose to get married or spread your seed, and usually I'm there, and but I'll buy those. I'll make a bunch of those for people, like as a nice thing, or like they get married or it's their birthday, and I'll give them those chocolates. And but yeah, these are the kind of
Yep.
things that I dig it because it's a cheap gift. It kind of talks. It's hard to find something as a car guy, especially as nerdy as we are, that
Yeah.
kind of talks to us like that. And to me, this is just one of those type of
So,
things.
so you're going Fight Club with a Nissan logo soap mold.
Yeah, I would fight it out. We'll put, what we'll do is we'll make a bunch of soap. We'll throw it in the middle, fight to the death for the soap, or with the
So
PB.
right, I'm trying to think about it too. I was like, um, making soap. I was like, yeah. See, I told you, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't put it past you, man. I've never done it, but I mean, do you have soap recipes? Or are you taking like little slivers of pieces and getting a lighter and trying to, get some heat underneath them or something like that? I have no idea, but
Where you
yeah,
going?
uh huh,
But yeah, this was one thing that I saw that was pretty cool that I dug. Another thing that I dug the other
yeah,
day. Now this is way out of my price budget for what I would pay for something,
yeah.
but still something pretty damn cool. Let's see here, and is this. So this is a handmade original drawing, but what I like about this, there's a lot of guys out there that are making some pretty cool
Here,
stuff.
zoom in just
Uh,
a little bit if
yeah,
you
let me
can.
yeah, let me see if
If
I can
not,
do
that's
it.
fine.
Yeah,
There you go. Wow.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty detail oriented, man. I mean, I
So
dig.
this is through Etsy again, right?
It's through Etsy, so there's a guy just doing, hand drawn. It looked like it's chalk on charcoal, maybe. I don't know. I'm not much of an artsy guy. Kind of
I'll leave it
flunked
to the
out right
professionals
after the
on that one.
macaroni years,
Yeah.
the macaroni
So
paste years. But yeah, but no,
so
I
got
thought it was pretty slick. I mean, but
you got.
this kind of stuff, like I will say that. I mean, like for example, like
Hmm.
as a case in point, like you'll see this picture that's behind me. I mean,
Yeah.
I like stuff like that, like this one-off stuff. I mean, there's guys on here like Ion. He has a collection of like just one-off crazy art stuff that's only like that. Behind you, the same thing. Those are all the Zcon posters. I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the price point, I mean, it's way out of control. But it's still a cool idea. If somebody else made something like this at a more cost-effective rate, like if
Yeah.
these were selling not framed 30, 40, $50, if you do that out there, I'm probably going to end up buying that
Boom.
thing.
Throw it into Miles's
Handmade,
mailbox. Yeah.
handmade's cool, but guess what? For the $850 markup, there really not that much
Yeah.
I care. It's signed by the artist. Nobody cares. I'm gonna tell you right
Who's the art? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
now. I mean,
That's cool. That's cool, man. I had seen a few like that. You always see the T-shirts like that. It's and that one seemed more how you said like handmade. I've seen some that are like obviously made digitally with the Z pad, and I had seen those. But hey, either way, no matter what, it takes a lot of time to put one
there,
of those
there's a
together.
lot. I have to say like the Z or the Datsun Nissan shirt game has just kind of changed. Like the Datsun 510 T-shirts that are out right now are like
Yeah.
they're awesome, dude. There's some cool stuff that are out there. There's a guy, and I only know him, but like Busted Knuckles, that guy used to do some really cool stuff. Desalny Drawn, who drawed all this stuff, he basically
Yeah.
draws your car. If you have any kind of car, a Porsche, whatever, he'll draw it for you. But he's been making my posters for years, and he does these one-offs of cars. He has a one like this that a guy named Takasato. He's a famous guy like on Rats and or a well-known guy on those. They
Okay.
did one of his cars, and what it is a customer will pay him to draw it, and then he'll sell the design later on. And I think it's just a cool concept. I love the fact that he's been doing stuff like this for a long time. I wish more guys out there, artists and designers that were out there,
Yeah.
would be small contract like that, because I mean I would totally take them up for it. Why? Who wouldn't want their car done for $300 and do it like that, and then have the licensing on the picture taken? You could put it on your shirt. Right now, you can do that any way you want. They'll burn a logo on your shirt for like $30 on certain websites. It's
Yeah.
crazy how much the game has changed on customizing and getting all that stuff done right now. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Dirty Nails, Bloody Knuckles. That's what it was. I was thinking of Ion. Thank you very much. And there were some really cool shirts that he and posters he had a long time ago. I think I bought one of them. It's God knows where now, but yeah. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Foos used to do that too. Yeah, but oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
who had the money for
Oh.
that? So, but kudos to Foos. He's a god.
Oh,
Let's
of
quote.
course. I've been before I got into the Nissan game. That was the whole overhauling. The late '90s, early 2000s TV programming car shows. Man, that's how Aside from a very few that we had that were import oriented, that's what we lived on Saturday mornings, even.
Yep. What's next on the chopping block?
All right, so I have events. We've got events. We're getting near the tail end of what we've got for you for everybody today as part of the show. But
Hmm.
so this segment of what we want to share with you guys is always an invitation for you guys to share with us events that are happening in your area or that you know of, and we're always searching as well. So there are a couple of major Nissan car shows happening this year. Again, we're just getting started for the year, but registration for the events have already started. So that being said, the organizers are in full gear, getting started with these. So I'll share my screen on two events that are happening this year. And for anybody who's interested or in the area, start making your plans now. And I'll share my screen. First one, Z Days, the 18th Z Days is happening May 20th through the 23rd. And we've got here, Miles, you've been to Z Days. I know I have. We've both gone at different times in our lives to Z Days. Most recently, it's been all in, what would you call it? The nearest town was Fontana Village. There's a big resort out there. I think it's changed. The location has since changed because this event is essentially just growing so much. I'm trying to find the name of the hotel lodging. Here we go. Maybe they'll tell us the exact location. This year's location. There you go. Chetola Resort is where you want to go. This is where essentially, and they do have a few overflow hotels happening here. So this event, 18th annual, last year was essentially a condensed version. I don't know if you'd even call it that, but they're definitely coming back in 2021 Z Days. This is actually I believe it's officially about a 4-day event, but a lot of people get there even before then and stretch it out to being about 6 days. This event, and there's a full range of activities, but there's car shows, there's a 5K. It's very interactive, very community oriented. The people that goes to these events are fanatics for the Z Days, right? So again, you're talking about fanatics who love this car, and essentially it's like a family reunion every year. For those who are interested, again, this is happening North Carolina region, May 20th through 23rd. And if you go to zdays.com, it'll tell you a lot more about it. So that was my first share on events happening this year. Second one is actually happening in August. And Miles, we've talked about this before. I'm sure we spoke with Chris Carl on this for the last year's event. This happens every year. But ZCon is happening again in Colorado Springs. And it's happening in, I believe it's August. I'm going to get the schedule here. Got my notes here.
Oh yeah, you know what? You were mentioning Z Days. Hold on, before you. Yeah, go ahead and do that. That's fine. Finish
No
out
worries.
Z. No, it's a yeah. This is a. I think you're right. I think that's the schedule for this. For
Yes,
Z
it
Days.
is. August 16th through August 21st. So it's a full week in August, Colorado Springs area. For anybody who's interested and would like to take some time off and really meet, again, fanatics for the Z car and for Nissan. Nissan corporate executives find their way from Tennessee and even from Japan to come out and celebrate with us. I know, Miles, me and you and myself, I think we plan on making it this year. And again, zcon.org will tell you more about this event. So a lot of fun. These are the two major events that are happening currently that's on our radar. But I do want to make an invite for anybody who's listening. If you want to share events, again, happening in your area, contact us at info@nissannerd.com. Also, there is Facebook. Every piece of social media. Search for us, find us, message us, tell us about everything you've got, and we'll go ahead and we want to share it with you guys. Um, so those are the two events I wanted to share. You had something about Z Days. What's that?
Well, I was gonna say I've been sideways a couple times in Z days, as per the norm.
Yeah.
Let's see here. That doesn't look like I'm in my best element, but in the reality is I was pretty sheets to the wind in that picture.
Woo! What kind
But
of hat is that? That's a bunny, huh?
yeah, I forgot the cruise that we got up there. We ended up stopping at like some ginormous like filling station, and they sell these little hats for kids. And all the guys, we like cleared out the place of like these hats, and so we were driving on the highway with all these hats, and yeah, we had a pretty good time. Let me
Carried
see.
on into the event.
Yeah, let me see here.
Ugh.
Uh,
Every
yeah, that was like the filling station down there.
That's Fontana right there. Okay, the pit stop
And it's
Fontana.
a little fuel pump that's at the bottom of the mountain. You can kind of
Yeah.
go there. But let me see here. Hold on.
Ugh.
That's it.
Did someone make you cry?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. There was something that just made me laugh and cry. So, but yeah, it was a good time. Ion told me to mention this. This is that poster he was talking about. He had it signed by Matsuo. But
Was
that's
that
pretty cool
the
stuff.
Shin Yoshikawa?
You probably got
No.
me. I'll let Ion talk about it. But yeah, it was pretty cool stuff, man. So let me see here. I'll put it up here real quick. 1 second.
Okay.
One moment. But this is that one he was talking about.
Go ahead and add it to you.
Boom, hit me.
Yes, I remember that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Dirty
was just
nails,
different,
bloody
right?
knuckles. Mm-hmm. I always thought that'd be a good slogan for a garage, like dirtiest nails in town.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, we're coming
Those
up
are
on
my events.
any
You
other.
have one, yeah, Miles. You wanted to share an event. Go for it.
Yeah, so we try to give to local events. I mean, this one's not necessarily local to what we're talking about here in where we're at, but it's been. I'm gonna just say it the way the Californians like it. It's hella popular where they're at. So this is it's called the Nissan Challenge. Now the Nissan Challenge has been going on for a number of years now, and I will say this: it's got a lot of participation, but
Hmm.
the quality of the guys putting it down is is, is just well done. I see the all the photos and everything that happen at it every year. By the way, I'll show you what the 2020 season is going to be looking like because they just actually had a race this last week. I want to
Okay.
say it was like on Saturday. Um, but this is their layout for the 2020 challenge that's already started at this point. But I love the fact that it's just
Hmm.
super nerdy and super specific to what we love, here. So for those that have not
Yeah.
gone and tried to attend this event, or at least checked it out online or support it, we
Hmm.
recommend that you do. They obviously got an event coming up here next month on the 22nd out at Willow Springs.
That's
Unfortunately,
2020. Yeah, go back. I
I
think you
mean,
were showing it.
look at the level of
Oh
competition at
wow.
this point. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, look at this.
There was a 2021. That's nice. That's a huge lineup.
No, this
Lots
is
of
crazy,
stuff.
man. This is their years and stuff that they got going on in these.
So this is happening in California, and this is a series of track days. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a series of track days to finish off a challenge or a competition. So yeah, I
Eh,
guess it's all by points. I'd have to. Anybody got any input or want to talk about it? But they've been doing this for a while because I've been following it for a number of years, and I meant to mention it back in last year, but with COVID and everything, I didn't know what was happening. The website was updated, but it wasn't, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, and I didn't want to hype it before I knew that it was going to be something that was having some continuation, but I mean, just the history on this thing alone is just some amazing cars. I would love to be just kind of a spectator just for this thing and
Oh
attend
wow.
this these days.
And these are some some pretty serious tracks. And I saw at Willow Springs.
Yeah, Willow
That's a
Springs.
historic track in California. I mean, that's people would love to drive that track, and this is dedicated for Z's for a particular day. If you go back to the beginning, I believe I did see the 2021 schedule. We can take it
Yeah,
out
I
if you
saw
want.
that. Yeah, we're gonna go back to that right now. I just wanted to
Cool, cool.
kind of peruse through some of their historic stuff. I mean, but come on, look
Yeah,
at this. I mean,
they're taking it
that's epic
very
car.
serious.
You know?
Wow.
I mean, these are.
And
This is
I saw
all no
trophies.
joke. Yeah. Go back.
I see trophies as well. Does that mean that perhaps there's a car show, or is it all track oriented?
I would assuming. I don't think this is a car show. I think this is all just all business.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, I mean, it just looks like a
Wow.
good event. I mean, you and I kind of grew up in a similar environment.
Yeah.
You know, but I will say this. I mean, it just looks like a fun all around, real real honest to God track day. So I hope to attend it one of these days, maybe. But yeah, let me go back to the layout for this year. Let me see here. This is the one that I think has.
2021 schedule. There you go. There you go. Yes. So
So,
January 10th. This was this last week. They're Auto Club Speedway.
hmm
Button Willow later this month.
yep.
They're going to skip February, but it looks like around springtime, Streets of Willow. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong way. Round 2, end of February, Big Willow. March 28th, round 3, Streets of Willow. Okay.
Chuckwalla Valley. I've never been
Probably
there.
New Button Willow, Button Willow, Button Willow, Streets of. It's a lot of Willow. All right, I mean, I need to learn more about California tracks, but
You
I
got a
mean,
home track. I mean, you take advantage of it. You know, why not? So
yeah, I don't care. Any track time's good track time. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, it was just a
you
cool
learn a lot.
event for anybody that has any input on that or wants to give us anything on it. I mean, definitely let us know. Um, but yeah, I mean, kudos to those guys that put on this event. Putting on events, as you and I know, not an easy thing to do. So kudos to them for the keep putting it on and making it happen for those hardcore enthusiasts.
Yeah,
And if anybody goes from the event, I mean, tell us about it. Let us know. Maybe one of these days, Mike, you and I will have to take a road
road
trip.
trip.
So
Yeah,
make
man.
Ion drive so we could sleep the whole time. So
Wouldn't be the first time.
yeah, no joke. So all right. Anything else we got in the bag today?
As far as today goes, I think
We're at an hour. We're pretty good.
we've put in a solid hour, man. I feel pretty good about this. Yeah, yeah.
Too. Yeah. Fluffy
Um,
nuts are going down, settling down.
well, so this was the first episode of the year. This is our first show of the year.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't just too long ago we did the end of year for 2020. The response that we had for doing these live streams was really, really good. And so that's why we thought to go ahead and give it a shot again.
I think they're
And,
working out well. I foresee us doing a lot more of these. Quite honestly, just it's simpler for us to do. We can pump out more of them, and
mhm,
people are starting to give us some input. It doesn't feel like it's you and me on an island and getting um, no feedback from some of our folks that are our fan base, if you will.
yeah, absolutely.
Such a thing. So, but oh, kudos! Ion wanted
Thank,
to mention on that busted knuckles that David
mhm,
Gonzalez. For those that don't know him, he's out of San Diego. It's called the
yes,
Hulk Machine.
the green one. Yeah, I do
Yes,
remember that one.
that's right. It's actually really famous in that part in them parts. So yeah, kudos to David. Super nice guy too, by the way. So not Ion sucks, but David is amazing. Um, but yeah,
um,
kudos to everybody for being on. Orlando, Ion. I know we kind of ran a little late tonight, but I think we didn't even hype this episode at all.
we
So
didn't. We didn't. This was definitely just to see how we're doing,
yeah,
and future episodes we definitely have some more
yeah. Well,
promotion behind.
we're gonna be recording later on this week. We have part one of part two interview with Mr. Mad Mike Taylor, and I got to save my energy for that ordeal.
That's going to be a definite.
It's like
That's going to take a lot of out of us,
it's like
but
hurting
I look forward to it
cats.
though. Mad Mike's always a great person to talk with, man. I'm happy to get that one in the bag and share it with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Uh,
taking it. I already
you seem
know how it's
really
gonna be. It's just
enthusiastic.
like
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
there's gonna be so much good material, but the problem is like with Mad Mike. For those that don't know him, it's like, Mad Mike, we can't say that on the air. I just,
There's gonna be a lot of filtering. No,
yeah,
he's
oh
well,
my
he's not
god,
too bad,
like we're
but
gonna be a month in editing just trying to make it a usable commercial, a
How, how
usable interview.
how many
So,
bleeps are we going to use? It's
oh
we should take bets now just to see.
yeah,
No.
if you ever had to do an interview with that guy or had a chance to sit down with him, I love him to death. But yeah, it's a little much.
I'm looking forward to though. I mean, every time I talk to Mad Mike is always an enjoyable time though. But yeah, I mean,
Off
obviously,
the earth,
always
man.
a character, man.
Who doesn't love that guy, man?
Tons of
He's crazy.
stories. I mean, for
I like
years.
to mess with him all the time. Like I try to steal his keys all the time every time I see him.
Is that your thing?
Oh, dude, I've done so many bad things to him as a joke, and it's like, and he's same thing to me. It's like
Same here. Same
I love
here.
him to death, and I hate the fact that every year he's a little less mobile and stuff. It's like I hate seeing somebody like that, but I always try to give him praise where he is, and I try to express the importance of people like him in our community. Like they really are the heroes and the people that did a lot for us at early times when there was not a spokesperson for the Z community. So that's why people like him are so important out there. Um, Tetsu in Japan, Mad Mike here. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Well, we were mentioning Johnny earlier as saying, well,
I was
Johnny,
just about
Miss
to say
Johnny
that.
Gable for the same reasons.
Same thing,
Yep.
she was hell. She tried to put on a Dotson Heritage Museum in California, and
Yeah.
who was even thinking about doing anything like that back then, and and then later on we realized we need a Dotson Heritage Museum, but we already tried it, it failed, it unfortunately didn't happen. So
Yep. 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 No, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And the thing is, though, that's why this podcast is here. I think Miles, me and you agreed that while we were kind of bringing this whole idea together, one of the primary reasons is to help share those stories and share those people and their influences. Everybody, it's part of the education that this is a matter of public record now. So hopefully, people stumble
People
upon this and have some fun.
it's gonna be like that later on. They're gonna be I got a microphone right here to make it funny, but people are gonna be like that in your face. What about that time you're talking about and it's just like you went on record by saying like, "Hey, just get out of my face, get out of my face." Like, and I hope it's not public record that comes back and bites me in the ass. I hope it's
You misused the pronoun. Like, oh God,
yeah,
come on.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God! Imagine we're at a car event somewhere, and some nerd's gonna come up to us on the July 28th interview. You just mentioned that. I'm like, bro, how many did I have? How many fluffy nuts was I deep in? So, but we'll go from there. So, you know, how many whiskey and cokes was Mike into? So
Exactly, man. It's
well,
it's all about having fun, though. But yes,
yeah,
let's go ahead and wrap up this episode,
yeah. Let's wrap
Miles.
up this episode. I want to thank everybody for being on with us live. Orlando, thanks for he's telling us thanks for the help. Yeah,
Yep,
man, don't sweat it, man. That's what we're here for, dude. Don't worry about it. And
let us
thanks
know
again
anytime.
to Ion and everybody else kind of chiming in tonight. And
We
to
got
all those folks.
George,
Yeah.
Ion. Yep.
And if you have articles out there, if you see something cool,
Yeah,
message us. Because
send it to
obviously
us.
we're gonna talk about it on here on the website, on the show. So definitely mention it to us, and we'll bring it up in the future. So, Mike, if you got
Absolutely.
any juice left in that bottle,
I got I got some melted whatever. There you go. One more time.
oh,
Kanpai.
bye. Oh,
Woo.
fluffy nuts go by.
Mm.
That's the roughest fluffy nut you'll ever have.
Woo.
Good God.
You gonna be all right, man? You gonna sleep well
Good.
tonight?
I'll be good. I'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right,
Goodbye.
man. On that note, Nissan Nerd Podcast. We'll see you another time. I'm Mike DeLashmutt. He's Miles Hall. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.